ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Correct Me If I'm Wrong, where we are having our very first Fans Choice Day.
Yeah, guys, so this is a segment where we accept your submissions. We kind of look through them. If you have any questions, any topics, we will be glad to talk about it.
First of all, let's give a shout out to our listener, Mr.
Submitter,
yeah. Samuel Hernandez, bro. Your question was picked. We've had multiple ones, especially me. I wanted to talk about the Cowboys some more. But yeah, no, we definitely want to go ahead and shout out to our listeners. Like I said, if you guys want to pick a topic for us to talk about, submit it. Send it to either one of our Facebooks or our YouTube channel, whichever one, gets you.
Okay, so what is Deja Vu, and do you believe in it?
I think Deja Vu is when it's an experience that you felt like you experienced it already before. Correct?
Yep.
I definitely believe in Deja Vu. There's been times where just random times I'm just somewhere and I really felt like this already happened. This is the same person that said it. They said exactly how it was. I do believe in Deja Vu.
And what is it? Like, not just like the definition. Okay. What is it? Like, is it exaggerating? Is this like a superpower? Is it something everybody has? Is it's something that just chemically happens? Like, not the definition, but what actually is it?
I feel like it's another sense that our body has. As far as you have your eyesight, you have your taste, you have hearing, you have feeling, you have all that. But because I've heard people say I've never experienced deja vu, I don't even know what would that feel like. What is it? It's literally like as if you dreamt it, and then it happens.
So what are you saying? Like you at one point predicted the future? So at that point, are you?
No, I don't even think it goes to that extent. I do get what he's trying to say. Like, it's not that you've lived it. It's just something that you've seen, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But when I've experienced it, because I have, I just stand there and I keep thinking, like, why do I remember this?
Yeah.
It's not anything like I've lived this. This is what happened afterwards. This is what happened before it. But why am I remembering this and why am I having this feeling right now?
For some reason, it's always a dream. And I wake up the next morning and I'm like, why did I dream that? And then a couple weeks later, it'll happen.
So we have deja vu narrowed down to basically a feeling that happens at that moment, and to your sense, you have this
amazing
library
ability of dreams
to be able to dream something, and eventually it actually happens.
So science has a definition for
There's
it.
a lot of different explanations,
but it's hard because deja vu is one of the hardest things for us to get an exact answer because we can't test it. I can't force you to have quote unquote deja vu, so I can't test it to see what's triggering it.
Like I said, my personal opinion, it happens in dreams.
It happens in dreams.
Devin?
Ladies and gentlemen.
I still think it's a feeling. I do not remember my dreams. Just like a lot of people, I don't remember a lot of my dreams
either. But if you ever have a dream about the lottery, you let me know your numbers right away.
Exactly. That's definitely something I'm gonna put in the. Write the number down. Wake up and.
How were you raised, and how is the new generation raised that affects your current life? So I always hear this on, like, for example, shout out coworker Kevin always says, the you young generation here don't know how to do this, don't know how to change a tire, don't know how to do checkbook.
Yeah. So Gen Z is considered between 1995 to 2010. Gen Y, which is considered millennial, which I'm sure most of us fit in that. It's between 1980 to 94.
Sweet, I'm still in Y.
Gen X is considered from 1960 to 79. Named Baby Boomer is 1940 through 59.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends. Is what's been around us, like during us, growing up.
Yeah.
And we've been in the I've always talked about this. We're in a unique position that we've grown up on, like, what's been here before, as far as like what we've had to do, how we've grown up, how we did things, to transitioning over to quote unquote Gen Z, technology, automated stuff. We're kind of in that middle ground.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's affecting us in a way. We're kind of having to evolve, but still having that, experience of growing up. Older generation had a problem. They went somewhere for the solution, and they had the solution.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it's just so much things to cover as
Yes.
far as
Yes.
technology.
Yes, technology makes things impossible for one person specifically to fix. And I think that actually is a really good explanation. You know, if something happened 10 years ago, you yourself, one person can go and fix that. If something happens now and it's you know, behind the scenes, something that I personally don't know, I can't fix that. So I have to just kind of lay back and say, okay, like I'm going to have to wait until it
Okay.
happens.
So what I told Patrick, what happened originally, we purchased all of our equipment for this podcast. I said I purchased it, Amazon, boom, and it's supposed to be here on a certain day. Said day comes, package ain't here. And this is why I feel like this generation is, again, more patient. I'm older than the three gentlemen in this room. My patience was little to none that day because I was like, their response was, I'm going to send a message to our call center and they should reach out to you. But I wanted the problem fixed right then and there that I was literally losing my cool.
Right.
Like, I'm like, you don't understand. You don't do this. You don't do that. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get anything. Did the package get delivered by the end of the day like it said on UPS?
Yes.
Yes, it did. It's this generation that's like, we're all technology driven now. Yeah. You can't make it out of your house. What's the first thing you think about when you leave the house? You grab your wallet, you grab your keys, and you grab your phone. Mm-hmm. Those are the first thing most males do. Women,
Absolutely.
They have another list. But we're going to that topic later.
I have what's called the pat test. I do.
Yeah, everybody,
Phone,
every
keys,
man
wallet.
does the pat test.
Phone, keys, wallet.
Yeah.
So what is it that you think the current people, this current generation, is going to do that's going to affect us? What is going to happen that they're doing that we're going to have to adjust to them?
See, that leads. Yeah. I don't want to get to the point that technology
is
gets
in my
too,
life 100%.
Well, not even that. It gets too advanced for me to keep up with it. I always want to stay on top.
On technology?
Not necessarily dependent, but understanding it. Because I see a lot of people have trouble, even, emails. Emails at a while back was like the most advanced that you can do. So, for instance, like communication-wise, now it's text messaging, messaging platforms. Like there's different apps you can message on. I don't want to get to the point that's gone over my head.
Well, I mean, and you can't. I don't think you will, and it's not. And it's just because of the fact that we're in that sweet spot, as I like to call it.
But you don't think there's gonna be a time eventually that you have to There's going to be a time that you as an individual is going to mentally not be able to keep up like they are today.
I think our generation will as we get older because we're so used to it.
You think a 95-year-old Devin will be able to compete with whatever these 20-year-olds are coming out with technology-wise and be able to mentally keep up with that?
I think you are right. Like maybe when I'm 90 years old, it's going to be a lot harder for me to do it. And it's going to be a lot harder for me to do a lot of things when I'm 90. But I'm talking about like our parents are 40s and 50s. Right. And it's harder for them to... They don't want the brand new iPhone. They don't want the brand new Samsung because why? It's difficult. It's hard for them to understand. At first, it's going to take them a while. But I feel like since we're so used to it, I feel like once technology advances, we'll be able to adjust to it around those age.
No, but that goes back to the whole thing. Go back to the thing is 90-year-old Devin, 90-year-old Boyle. If you're doing that, then why wouldn't you be able to keep up?
I do think, because I do think like the 7-year-old person can learn how to use a cell phone. Now, mentally, do you want to be able to understand that? Yes or no? It comes down to the fact that we don't like change. Yep. So are you willing to accept the fact that your flip phone may not be as good as a smartphone anymore? That comes down to you as a person of change. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying is there a possibility that you can mentally not understand it? You're right. We're in that realm. Are we willing to accept that? Are you willing to accept the fact that kids may watch someone else play a video game more than they will actually sit down and play the video game? What if this happens? What if people don't go to football arenas no more? They put on a VR set, and that's how they watch the football game. Would you be willing to accept that?
The only thing I would not be willing to accept, and this just because it's my personal thing, is the VR thing will probably give me motion sickness.
But like, because I would sit here and I would say, let's say that's a real technology. Because VR is coming up. Let's say it's a real thing. I would say I like hearing the crowd. I like drinking a cold one. I like hearing the hits. I would say I would mentally be like, you're insane. I don't want to put on this VR and not go to a game. You're saying you're not selling football tickets anymore? That would blow my mind. But is it going to come to a point that that's what it's going to go, and we're not willing to accept that?
Well, I mean, that's always going to be a thing with technology. We don't know where it's going. We really don't. At one point, everybody thought by 2015 we would have flying cars. But we don't know how far technology is going to go. As far as, I don't think that'll ever be anything that would happen, just because of the fact that what you lose is the in the moment type thing. And I don't think us as human beings, regardless at the end of the day, unless you're one of those people that likes to be put in a little bubble and never go outside, like that's why I don't believe in homeschooling. I do not believe in homeschooling. I feel that me going to public school is who made me me.
But that's what the question is, and I think that's what you're overlooking, is you do not want to change, because if that's to me what the question is.
But
It's not like, is this new Apple 2000, are you going to be able to work it? No, the question is something that you may not agree with.
You're gonna want.
Yeah, something. If I can sit and put on a VR and I can live my life and sit in this chair and do nothing. That's the change. And are you willing to accept it?
Me willing? No, I'm never going to be able to.
That's
the question, then yes. But I feel like that scenario is not for everybody. I would probably have to keep up with that because I love football.
I mean, that is true. If you put it in
if they say we are no longer going to sell tickets, we are going to be using VR headset, I will be at Best Buy the next day because I love football. Okay. Now, mind you, this VR setup that we're talking, supposedly talking about or whatever, it better knock my socks off, or else I feel like the NFL is just going to go down the drain.
But to me, like that's the question.
That's the problem that a lot, and that's another thing that I feel like this generation has, is nobody wants to live in the moment anymore. Everything, you want to live off of somebody else's moment.
I think people do live in the moment, but I do think we're gifted in a generation today that we're able to live in other people's moments, and I do think we're more supportive today than it's ever happened because of that. Maybe I don't have the same aspirations as you. Like, for example, like Jesus is a photographer. I'm not that much into photography, but I 100% support Jesus, and I 100% look at his stuff, and I think it's super cool. I do think today we're able to embrace everything we love, and we're given so many opportunities to embrace whatever it is and support each other in that. So whatever it may be. And I think that's what's so cool about today, our generations, because I'm able to see you do your thing, even if that's not something I want to do.
Right.
But I can go live my thing too.
Right.
And we can be supportive so much of each other doing our own thing. So as always,
stay fresh,
stay hungry,
stay driven,
and stay humble.